Hello, friends. So happy to have you here with me today at Radical Joy. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time with me, well, I'm glad you're here. Each week, I'm here with you talking to myself about things that weigh on my mind and heart, hoping if you're dealing with something similar, we can adjust our perspectives as you listen. Hey, if you're struggling with something that needs immediate attention, please know that help is available. Just dial 988 nationwide in the U.S. to reach the Mental Health and Suicide Crisis Hotline. All of us here at CLW Studios believe that mental health is a vital part of our well being. The more people I meet and the more places I go, the more I realize how important it is to make people aware of the fact that there is no shame in enjoying the parts of our lives that are incredible. It's time for some radical joy. And this week, the three fingers pointing back at me are for gratitude and enthusiasm. Twinsies! Yeah, I did. I just did that. I make no apology for it. None. I don't know, last minute it just seemed like the right thing to do. Whenever I was coming up with this idea, it to me in the title it seems first cousins work. But I think that these two are even closer than cousins. And I tell you, cousins can be close, but I've seen some twins that definitely rival that relationship. Enthusiasm and gratitude. So often one can dovetail into the other. Sometimes I feel enormous amounts of one and teeny tiny little bits of the other. Okay. Meaning that if I should need one and I am in abundant supply of the other, it's a real short trip to translate one into the other. I love this because sometimes you just can't be asked to be enthusiastic about something. You're back at the job, you're in the middle of something you've done a million times, and trying to find something enjoyable about it is just not happening. It's a task, it's a chore, and I hate it, which is why we call it a job. That's how that goes. It can apply to many things too. It can be a relationship, it can be any number of situations in your life where you are beholden, responsible, and instead of it being something like a blessing or something for which we can be grateful, we tend to treat it sometimes as the mundane, as the everyday, as something I've done 1,000 times before. So why get excited about it today? Well, you don't have to be excited about it. I promise you it's going to be a lot less of a drudgery if you can find a way to sort of adjust in order to do that. Gratitude. I am so grateful that the things that I wanted for so long finally came to fruition. Oh my God, I'm so happy about this. Hallelujah. Wonderful. Great. That high that I'm feeling, that connectedness to the way things worked out in my favor so incredibly well, that's the thing. That's what I'm going to lean on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just sort of I'm going to take that fullness and I'm going to try to bear hug it and sort of lift it and sort of waddle over to my enthusiasm tank and just sort of like stuff it down in there so that high that I'm feeling from my enthusiasm, for my gratitude of really having that now, I can translate and put that over in the tank for enthusiasm. It's like, okay, yeah, yes, because I asked for this for so long and because now I'm doing it. And the thing that I used to aspire to do, the thing that I used to have to break myself in order to just get by, I am now proficient, or better yet, I'm an expert. I'm a master at doing this. And that's really cool. I've covered a lot of ground between where I started and where I am. And now it's so easy for me to do. I can get bored doing it. I never thought I'd see the day. And look around, Puppet, here we are. You're crushing the game. Brilliant. It's easy to translate that from one into the other, right? Yeah, exactly. Now let's flip the script a little bit. Let's just do this right quick. Little story time. I'm gonna slide my chair back a little bit so I can get on the edge of my chair because I'm feeling in it now. You're like, yeah, this right here, perfect. I heard that on the national calendar in the United States of America, they took off the holiday of Juneteenth. And that just pisses me off. That gets me right in the guts, and it makes me angry. And you know why it makes me angry? I have amazing people in my life that cared enough about me to teach me what it was about, what it was for, and brought me up to speed. And they are intelligent and they are emotional and they are so good. And because this is so important to them that they took time out of their amazing lives to bring me up to speed about what it is, and then for it just to be dismissed out of hand. It roasts me. It makes my guts boil. Well, Bullard, we don't need a national holiday to celebrate. No, you don't. And thank you for bringing that up, Mildred. Sit down. Nobody asked you. I don't need your help. What I did instead was I went online because Paris is just down the street from me now. And I bought a ticket to the Queen Bee's Cowboy Carter concert. Two of them, actually. And me and undisclosed guest are going to said concert on Juneteenth, 2025. That's June 19th for anybody who doesn't know. And I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to act the fool. And it's going to be dedicated to that holiday that was so carelessly, mindlessly removed from the calendar in the United States of America. Now, here's the thing. I can get very enthusiastic about that. That's cool. Now, is Beyoncé one of my favorite artists? Not particular. I think she's amazing. I think she's talented. I think that she has turned her whole life and brand into something that a lot of people can look to as aspirational, and I dig it. And her stuff flipping rocks. Like she's put some dance tunes out there that just melt your face. And I would love to be in the middle of a great big crowd that were just jamming out to something like that. For whatever reason, I haven't the picture of me in chaps going to this with under like things under it, but still for whatever reason, chaps come to mind. Neither here nor there. The enthusiasm that I have for being able to buy the ticket, for going, for taking the Eurostar from Amsterdam to Paris to spend one night in this enormous venue celebrating life and art and just awesome. What? When you just take a second to look at it, like objectively look at it, if I were to take a snapshot of this moment of the lights going and the sound thumping and my lungs vibrating from the bass, you know I'm going to be having my earplugs in, okay? Just so we're 100% clear because I got to protect that. To be there among these people on this special day as part of a joyful protest of sorts fills me with a sense of gratitude that I would be hard to contain tears. Okay? So that enthusiasm for that moment, that upper echelon of excitement, I can be a part of that moment and be really engaged and present. And then all of a sudden, that switch will flip. And I think, I had the money to do this. I'm close enough to do this. I am brave enough to wear this ridiculous costume or outfit or whatever it is we want to call it. So many things to be grateful for that came from this overwhelming feeling of enthusiasm. And I think that applies to a lot of things. Now, granted, these are extreme examples, okay? I get that. Yes, I do. You know, you don't have to go that far out or play that deep in the paint to get those feelings. You can look at something like There Were Days. I never thought this would happen, and here I am living it, however many years deep in it, and now I'm feeling just a little bit. Let me change that right quick. Let me focus on the parts of this where there was a time, there was a day, I was once the person who, and now I am, And that is so great, and I'm so proud, and I'm so strong. I am so smart. I am so loving, caring, kind. I am so good at this one particular skill. I am so open to things that happen now because I have been working at this long. There's a million things out there that we can put a whole lot of gratitude on. And there's a million teeny tiny little wonderfuls out there we can do the exact same thing to. We just have to continue to remember to do it. Honestly, it's like brushing your teeth. And I know some of you are like, "What? What are you even talking about right now?" It's like brushing your teeth. It's one of those things you're like, "Ugh, my breath tastes terrible," or "I can't believe I'm woken up. Ugh, I smell ugh." Like, there are reminders, there are signs, and then what do? You take your happy self to the bathroom, and you floss, and you swish, and you brush, and you swish, and then you feel way better. Right. The reminders are there. The signs are there. I feel bored in a thing that I used to beg to have. Hope beyond all hope that one day I would be the lucky participant in, recipient of, and now here I stand, square in the middle of it. And there are days I need to remind myself and really get up in it, and that is okay too. Yes, it is. And that's the thing, like, you can continue to give yourself permission for these kind of things. I know I do. I absolutely do. I'll sit there and I'll wanna bitch and moan and whine and complain, and then I just have to stop myself because it often ramps up. That's another thing I've gotta be super careful about. It will escalate. I am terrible about that. I am working on it. Here's a fun little thing. Now that my nutrition is better and my fitness is better and I sleep more soundly at night and I don't feel so flipping stressed out 24/7, it is much, much easier to see when I'm getting unreasonably angry or upset. Take a moment, breathe through it, find out what it is I need to focus on instead so that I can feel grateful, enthusiastic, calm, centered, warm, wonderful, caring, kind. All of these adjectives we've talked about 100,000 times already. Yes, it's so important to continue to be aware of what we're doing, of who we are in that moment, because there are certain schools of thought, behavior is who you are. Okay, yeah. And behavior is modifiable. Whenever you know that you're getting off into something that doesn't serve, that does nothing more than just upset you or frustrate you, get your blood pressure up, make you say unkind things to people you love so much, maybe we can take just a moment to assess it, acknowledge it, recognize it for sure, and then start working in a direction so that we can be better about it to the people we love the most. To appreciate situations we used to beg to be in, to be so thankful for the circles we get to run in now that we used to hope we could be big enough to fill those shoes one day. And now, look at you. You're so big the toes are pinching. Well done, you. So what are we going to do? We're going to get even bigger shoes. What are we not going to do? Piss and moan about having shoes that are too tight. I said what I said, and now I'm going to take a sip of coffee. These things. Do you ever talk to somebody, okay, you're like, "How you doing?" "I'm doing fine." "Great, love to hear that, that's wonderful." He's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not, but you don't wanna tell anybody because they wouldn't care to listen anyway." "Oh, okay." I mean, that's one way of looking at it. I know we've all heard somebody say that at one point or another, and the thing is, instead of thinking that way and just going ahead and cutting it off, maybe if you can't find an audience for your grievance, maybe you can find a way of thinking about it so that you can sort of sublimate that, kind of just blow that steam off without having to make someone else an audience to your unhappiness. Not saying you can't, it's not at all what I'm saying, but there will be times when we can't find somebody like that, where we're not around somebody like that, or they're perhaps not available to be there for us, whether it is geographical availability or they're just not emotionally available for that kind of unhappiness sharing at the moment. Okay, I get it. And honestly, I'd rather know that. I'd rather you tell me that you're not really in a spot where you can listen to that sort of thing so I don't put my burden on you. All I'm looking to do is sort of air it and then get rid of it. I don't want you to carry it. I want you to listen to me talk about it for a second because once I understand that it's out of my face and, out of my head, I realize how silly and small it can be. Can be. Not always. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's problems here. Folks have real, serious problems they're dealing with daily. And I send love, respect, and admiration to folks out there that are dealing with these big things. I have friends that are pregnant, and God love them, they are loving it, and they are laboring for the love, okay? And I send them love and understanding and hopes for relief and prayers for health of that baby that they have prayed to have, and space and grace to come at me whenever something is swollen that ain't supposed to be swollen, or something that hurts that ain't supposed to be hurt, or forgetting to tie your shoes because you've got some kind of mom brain thing happening. Great. Yes, we all have either been there or know someone who has, and I am plenty strong enough to tote that for you for a hot second, at least until we can both kind of throw it up into the world, laugh at it a little bit, and just let it turn to dust. Great. Or better, glitter, sparkle, mama. You're building a whole other human being. And yes, I know it's hard. Ooh, I give you honor and praise for the work you are doing. Thank you. Because I can tell already you're going to be an amazing parent. And your partner is going to be an amazing parent. And I am over the moon that this little one's going to show up and they're going to be so loved. And sometimes, if you can't make your own enthusiasm or you can't make your own gratitude, you got to lean on somebody you love. Just a little, just a little. Trust fall it. Do that. Hey, tap, tap, tap. I'm about to fall. I'm going to need you to catch me, okay? Could you do me that solid? I promise it's not going to be full body weight, but right now, all of this is just too much. So I'm going to ask you to take about 42 pounds, and it's falling in 3, 2, 1. I got you. And I'll hold on to you. And you can tell me about it, or you can just sit there and you can just sort of be okay that someone has taken 42 pounds off you for just a minute. And then eventually you're going to have to stand back up, full weight, you, little bit, whatever it is you're carrying, and you're going to have to go back out there. Why? Because that's who you are. That's what you do. You asked, you received, and now it's time for you to go out there like the warrior you are and own it and show the rest of the world just how good you are at owning it. Wow. Because you may not know it. You're probably somebody's inspiration. All right? Let's not forget about that. We talk about it occasionally. What you're going through right now, you look to somebody for an inspiration. There's a good chance they don't know that they pattern some of their successes off what they've seen you accomplish. And what a joy. What an honor. Wow. What a gift. If you think there aren't people out there that are doing the exact same thing to your life, trying to reach the goals you've reached, to accomplish what you've already done, and probably looked real good doing it, you would be mistaken. Somebody out there is watching your life and they are walking in your footsteps. Wherever you have stepped before, whether it's mud, snow, concrete, whatever it is, they are putting their feet where you have trod in order to get what you are, or what you have received. And that's huge. And we always want to live for ourselves, always. It's not always easy. So whenever we need one of those fake it till you make it moments that I hate, just haven't come up with any better terminology for anyway, because I ain't faking. It is pre-recognition. It is the before the good stuff hits. Sometimes you just gotta put on just a little bit because you gotta do something for somebody else because 'cause they're watching, and it's not performative. What it is just, "Okay, I honor the fact that somebody else is here watching me and what I have they want, and I don't want to whine about that whenever I am living someone else's dream life." I don't think that's selfish, and I don't think that is artificial. What I think that is respectful, and I think that is paying homage to what you've already done and accomplished and what others would love to do with their own lives. And sometimes it's hard to do it for yourself. Whenever you live inside the circle, it's hard to see what's going on in there sometimes. It just is. So we rely on the people in our lives that we love and respect and trust to tell us the truth or facilitate that next step in getting out of our funk and getting back into our power. What is different? What is wrong? No, I don't love the word wrong. What's off? What are you seeing in my behavior, in whatever it is that's going on right now that you see is not typical? What is just not my flavor? What do you see that's off brand with me right now? And they can approach you. Now, here's the thing, too. You got to be ready for it, okay? Because some people really love you a lot and they tell you really, really straightforwardly. And sometimes that can be a little much. Great. Super. The Dutch are very direct. And I love that about them because it is so efficient. Until you learn how to deal with it, it can be a little painful. It is very efficient. And once you understand that they honor you by telling you the truth instead of trying to beat around the bush or cushion it, they want you to know so you can be better. Almost everything in this culture is so fun like that because the Dutch are known to complain, especially about the weather. The difference being, whenever I hear someone loves to complain, I think they are a complainer. That is not what this is in this land, this country, and in this culture. They complain about something so that they can get a consensus on what it is someone doesn't like about said topic. And if there is something to be improved or repaired, they figure out what it is that is probably the least enjoyed, and that is the thing they work on improving. I'm sorry, what? It's just not sit around and bitch all day and nothing gets changed or fixed? Correct. It is we sit here and we talk about the things that could be improved or better served. We get a feel of the room, get the temperature, and then we spitball ideas on how to change that so that it will be less of a topic of complaint. What? Exactly. It's wonderful. And it's helpful because it's one of those things too where, to be fair, sometimes it's really hard to get people to contribute whenever you're in a discussion or conversation about positive things, about what you like about something. It can be a little surface, it can be a little elementary. It doesn't really go on a deep dive. However, you start putting on the moan about something, and here comes everybody with tiny, teeny details about everything that isn't just 100% utopian in any and all situations. Great. Now we've got a list. Which of these things are just little gripes? Little like, man, I don't love it. It doesn't like affect me in any way. I just don't love it. It could be different. Okay, super. What of these things are a whole other game changer? Which of these things, if implemented, would make this better, would make for a safer, calmer, more productive, more profitable working environment? Which of these things would make our relationship closer, deeper, stronger, less fragile? Which of these parenting techniques would build a safer, stronger, more confident child? One who feels so safe and so confident that they can spend time around anyone of any age and feel safe and loved and accepted. These are the things complaining here gets you. And I want to apply that to a lot more of our lives in general. When I start to complain, I want to realize that this is a tool for improvement. It's not something to be avoided because this is not a positive vibes only space. Absolutely not. Some days are shitty. I acknowledge that they're shitty. No one's going to tell you any differently on this channel. So you might as well just be okay with that. Sometimes, some days, it's just going to roll up and stink. Got it. Noted. What it is now, in my renewed perspective, is an opportunity to get better. Whenever I say something like that, and I'm the only person in the room with this complaint, this is clearly a me problem. When I bring this up, and everyone, literal, unanimous decision that this is BS and we need to fix it, adjust it, however, improve it. Perfect. We have our square one, ladies and gentlemen. The floor is now open for suggestions on how to improve. And that's when the rubber meets the road. And that's whenever it becomes more and more readily available, those two ideas of enthusiasm and gratitude, because now we are working to be better. And though we have all of these things that we wanted for so long, and it's so nice, it can at some point become a little tiresome. It can become annoying, and that's okay. Why? Because we see it every day. If you see something every day, it should come as no surprise that occasionally it will be a little boring. Okay? And what we do then is we take a moment and we focus on the things that we love, the things that make us the happiest about whatever the situation is where we find ourselves. And we fill that whole chest cavity with the gratitude that where we are is where we always hoped we would be. And then we take that over. We bear hug it. We pull it up out of that container, throw it in this other container over here of enthusiasm. And then we start to feel our juice flowing again. Got a little shimmy. Get a little of that up in there, right? Yeah, I'm a badass. That's right. Look at all I've accomplished. Look at all these lives I've touched. Look at all of these situations I've made better just by showing up in my full power, strength, and brightness. And people acknowledge it. It is a help. And I am so proud of that. How wonderful to be that person, right? Yes, I agree. How wonderful. How lucky am I that the things I wanted I accomplished, that I did it. And now I'm grateful for doing it. And now I get to use those skills to make my life better, as well as the people around me that I really enjoy. Those who want it, those who ask me for it and continue work alongside me so that they can have the joy in the accomplishment that I've already attained. How about that? Yes. It's exactly what I want for all of us because I think all of these good feelings, they have a flip side, which can be complaint to find improvement. And then they have the head side, which is basically just two twins holding hands. One is enthusiasm, and the other is gratitude. And they're both beautiful. And that coin is worth a lot. As always, friends, I'm so, so happy you're here with us at Radical Joy. If this is your first episode, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us for this half hour of fun and chit chat and hopefully helpful. If this is not your first episode, welcome back, friends. Thank you for being part of the CLW Studios and Radical Joy family. We're thrilled that you're here. If you're the type of person who likes to leave a review because they are so helpful, truly word of mouth is our best way of getting new listeners to hear us what we're doing here at Radical Joy. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever it is you're listening. Please make sure you take a screenshot of that. Send it to us here at Radical Joy. You can find out how to do that in the show notes. Make sure we get that and we'll happily send you some new swag. We just started season 3. Well, just started. We're a few months into season 3. And we got a brand new look and some brand new swag. So I would love for you to send us the screenshot of your 5-star review so that we can send you a sticker to thank you for your love and support. As always, friends, please know that we are so grateful you're here. Hopefully, the time we get to spend together is a help for you for the rest of your week and into the weekend. And please never forget that all of us here at CLW Studios and Radical Joy, we love y'all.